Finishing Chapter 4 of The Trolley to Yesterday, Johnny and Fergie have traveled back in time to 1896. They ended up in a firewood closet and woke up a sleeping man who chased them out of the house. They lost the time tamper. They are now sneaking back into the man's bedroom to try and find it. "We have to go up," Fergie whispered. "It's the only way." Johnny nodded, and he started climbing one step at a time on hands and knees till he was peering into the moonlit room. The last red embers of a fire glowed in the fireplace. The curtains of the bed were drawn shut, and Johnny could hear a muffled snoring sound. They crawled across the floor, and Fergie followed. They stopped by the door of the firewood closet. "Where do you think the tamper is?" asked Johnny in the faintest of whispers. "Like I said before, I don't know," muttered Fergie. "I hit that dumb door with my hand when I fell down. It might be anywhere in the room, or in among all those logs in that dumb closet. Just stay put and I'll look for it." In an agony of fear, Johnny crouched by the closet door while Fergie scuttled around on the worn boards, feeling here and there with his hands. He had his flashlight, but he didn't dare turn it on. To Johnny, it seemed like ages were passing. At any moment, the man in the bed could come charging out, and the two of them would be doomed. Fergie went on searching. Johnny turned his head, and he saw to his horror that Fergie was under the bed. Then suddenly Johnny heard a metallic clack. With a soft shuffling sound, Fergie crawled back and stopped near him. He was breathing heavily, and he held up something that glimmered faintly in the moonlight. "I found it," he whispered. "Let's get out of here." But he had spoken too loudly. The bed creaked, and with a muttered curse the man awoke. His bare legs came swinging out through the curtains. The boys were on their feet, and Fergie jerked the closet door open. In they went, picking their way clumsily over the firewood till they reached the shimmering veil. Behind them they heard the man's quick footsteps as he hurried toward the door. In a flash, Fergie raised the tamper and parted the veil. The boys dived inside, and the veil closed behind them as they rolled across the metal floor of the trolley. When they picked themselves up and looked back, they saw the tall, burly man staring at the outside of the veil. To him, it looked like a blank wall. Fergie thumbed his nose at the man and ran to the driver's seat. Working feverishly, he set the dials for the return trip, and Johnny scarcely had time to sit down when the trolley began to hum and whine. The trip back was a bit bumpy, but they arrived safe and sound. Fergie shut off the dials and put the tamper back in its box. Then he heaved a deep, heartfelt sigh of relief. "We made it, Jono," he crowed with a wide grin, and as he slapped his friend on the back. "I told you we would, didn't we? Didn't I?" Johnny took out his handkerchief and mopped his sweaty, pale face. "Fergie," he said quietly, "I don't want to do anything like this again. Do you hear? Not ever." And that's the end of Chapter 4. Remember that this book takes place in the 1950s, so 1856 to these kids is as long ago as, and I'm recording this in 2017, Back to the Future is to us 1955. Just crazy to think about stuff like that. Anyway, I will see you in Chapter 5.